And welcome to Deadline Press Agency's roundup of today's top stories in the Scottish newspapers. I'm Oliver Farrimond.
And I'm Cara Solomon.
And let's have a look at today's newspapers. The Daily Telegraph today has on its front page the same story as every other paper in the country today, but they've all taken slightly different lines on it. It's Nick Griffin's appearance on Question Time last night. The Daily Telegraph have taken the line that the BBC have made a mistake in giving him the forum to air his views.
He used his appearance on Question Time to attack Islam, homosexuality, and said that if Winston Churchill was alive today, he would be in the BNP because no other party would have him.
Another story in the Telegraph on page 8, 4 more swine flu deaths yesterday, taking the full total of deaths in Scotland to 21.
And the news comes in the same week that frontline workers are being offered the vaccination against the bug for the first time.
The Daily Express, once again, Nick Griffin on the front, very eye-catching front cover with a left-hand comment, and on the right-hand column, booze as bigot faces fury on TV.
And on page 3 of the Express today is a story that's made it into quite a few of our Scottish newspapers today about our lovely Mercedes, the only polar bear in captivity in the UK who has made it up to the Highlands after 25 years at Edinburgh Zoo.
And the animal collections manager at the Highland Wildlife Park also hinted that she might not even be Scotland's last. A Susan Boyle story on page 7 of The Scotsman. Her debut album is officially the most pre-ordered album ever on Amazon. On page 3 of The Herald, which also has Nick Griffin on its front page, a story about Polish women who are being bribed by gangsters to offer bogus marriages.
Ian Davidson, MP for Glasgow South West, said that there are mainly Algerian, Afghanistan, Turkish and Pakistani men that are approaching the Polish girls. And on page 7 of the Record today is another Susan Boyle story. It's also in The Sun. And she attended the Celtic match last night at Parkhead and was singing along to Never Walk Alone. And the Record have also got an exclusive on pages 10 and 11 about a lady called Deborah Simpson, who has already got 13 kids and is so desperate to conceive her 14th that she is working out at the gym.
And with 2 miscarriages since the 13th child and IVF not an option, she's desperate for a 14th baby, saying that children rock her world.
Daily Star, which, like every other newspaper, has Mr Griffin on the front page, has a story on page 9 about the postal strikes and the claim that 150 million items of post will be stuck by Christmas.
It's been reported elsewhere that the strike could cost Scotland's economy £100 million.
Front page of The Sun this morning, there is a wee bit about Sandy Henderson, who is feared missing after trying to rescue a herd of cows when his tractor was overcome by rapidly rising waters. And on page 31 of The Sun is a more light-hearted exclusive by a Steve Hawkes about McDonald's, who have had people queuing around the corner at one of their Edinburgh branches and so have come up with a double-laned drive-through system so that you don't have to wait as long to get your Big Mac. The front page of the Scottish Daily Mail this morning is yet again Mr Griffin, but this time they're saying that senior Labour figures have warned there's going to be a wave of racist attacks as a result of his appearance on Question Time, and so the BBC will have blood on its hands. And on page 8 of the Mail this morning, there's a story that's been in a couple of newspapers about the family from Dundee that had their kids taken away from them because they were deemed too fat to look after them. Apparently the newborn baby girl is back with the parents, but the 6 older children are still in care.
Thanks very much for listening. That was the roundup of the top stories in the Scottish papers on Friday the 23rd of October.
See you next week.